Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, July 19 already, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Discussed, obviously, touch on some health areas and spiritual areas and material physical areas. Now, how many of us truly, right? One thing is just that there's no reason for us to be, when we're communicating with ourselves, to be dishonest or, halfway there. How many of us embrace and love every fear that arises? Right? Most of us will sidestep it. It'll be there, and we know it's there. It comes and goes. You have that happen. It comes and then it goes away, then it comes back. Instead, some of us will turn around and say, hey, come on in, all of you. Come on in. You're welcome. Sit a spell and give all the fears a full body hug. Why would we do that? Well, we know that thoughts, right, are nothing but thoughts until we give them energy, and then we have the fear, to name one of them. The less fear we are holding in the body, the more we can relax and open ourselves up to experiencing a more expansive, enlightened state of consciousness. All fears are simply emotionally contracted thoughts invented by a mind that still believes it is disconnected from the source. And we all know, we've heard this many times, that it's an abbreviation. The word fear is abbreviation, false evidence appearing real, which is most of the things, just about all of them right now running around in front of us. False evidence appearing real. And there's a lot of people, and we can all feel it at different degrees, since we're all connected anyway, that are, they're fearing. All of us choose to transcend any fear and first discover what we are deeply afraid of. So a lot of us will just push that, like I said, the things that we're deeply afraid of, we'll push that somewhere in a closet in our subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind will play it back to us. It'll come back. We can access any fear by opening ourselves up to another being, right? Another being. Person is fake, so another being, intimately in conversation, letting the other peer into you. Soon, you will be able to see deeper into yourself and understand exactly what you are running from in your life. All of us have some things, none of us are exempt, that we don't care to pay attention to. Now, once we have identified or know what we are running away from, then is when we do an about face, run towards it, and welcome it into your heart with a huge, like I said, full body embrace. This approach will dissolve, I'll guarantee you. Now, if you do it from the ego mind, that's a different story. That's why I always bring that up. You do it from the heart mind genuinely, it will dissolve any fear instantly. And in time, it will be completely released from your body. The more practice you have in embracing your fears the easier it becomes to find total relaxation, so that you can access your full spiritual connection within your consciousness. See, when we begin to realize or comprehend that this society and our programming is the culprit, right? This is why so many of us, in fact, the majority, are constantly trying to continuously improve or fix themselves. How often do you find yourself trying to replace your negative thoughts and feelings with positive ones? How much of your life has been spent trying to heal yourself or your mind? Is all the effort and energy you're putting into improving you actually making you relax into the experience that you are already divine, already sacred, deeply lovable, and already connected to the God Source? What's the result for us from continuously fixing, improving, and healing ourselves? As perpetuating the feeling of what? What does that do? I am not okay exactly as I am. Any unconscious self-improvement habit is just another egoic dis-ease. The real problem is this dualistic mind. And uproot the entire I'm broken and need to be fixed emotional program. We will realize that who we are is neither these negative or positive thoughts, yet the consciousness and awareness behind them. Only through pure awareness will we be able to stop the habit of trying to change, fix, and improve ourselves, and instead surrender deeply into the spiritual sacred core of our being, where self-realization is. The nice thing about all this is that we're connected, never separated. You know, the illusion of separation we've talked about is that's not negative, because it allows us to operate individually to a certain extent. So we experience things. Others don't experience the same things that you do. In fact, you could be with another being, and both of you doing something, and you experience at the same time. It isn't going to be, the experience you're having isn't going to be exactly as the one that your friend next to you is experiencing. It's going to be different every single time. And we've got all these thoughts, say, and not many people address that, but we do. We have, and that's just where people will say, you know, I'm just going to get away. I'm going to forget about the cell phone, all that stuff. See, and then, you remember we didn't have cell phones, smartphones? What did we have? Well, when you left the house, right, nobody could get you. Everybody was fine with that. That wasn't a big deal. In fact, a lot of people felt relieved. The landline, you know, local area network, landline at home, right? Wired. We would ring, and that's before we got caller ID, see. So we would, most of the time, you'd never know who was calling. So you'd pick up the phone. And it was always a surprise, because you never knew who it was that was going to call. And then, of course, we ended up with caller ID that we would plug into our hardwired phones, and then we could see who's coming. And then, of course, we went into answering machines, which people would have to leave a voice message, not mail, but voice message. The rest is history as it progressed. But some of you remember that when you would leave the house, that was it. No one's going to contact you. No one's going to get in touch. And you felt secure. You did not feel insecure. Today, though, okay, the society has become so dependent on smartphones that they feel distraught when they forget leaving it at home and they don't have it with them. How is anybody going to get in touch with me? What if there's an emergency? Ego mind goes in overdrive. Because we start thinking, focusing about the negatives. When you start feeling insecure, it's the ego mind, your master and commander. And we get all these thoughts. Most of us don't know where they come from. Most of us are tricked into taking one of these thoughts, embracing it, and creating it into our reality and experience it. Even though, in a lot of cases, we will detect inherently to ourselves and say, this doesn't seem right. Something's not right about this. You know why that is? Because it isn't your thought. And boy, is it tricky, because it will, see, the ego mind, it will attach to you, it will attach itself to you, connecting through something else within your life, past, right, or future. And then you say, well, yeah, that's me, that's my thought, and you'll take it in. Your thought, your genuine thought, is generated by you and sent out into the universe by you. That's your thought. Now, is your thought influenced by the ego mind? Yeah, sure. Well, how do you circumvent that? Well, once you know it's the ego mind influencing your thought that you're sending out, how do you know? Well, you feel that insecure, you have some doubt, you're not completely 100% there with it. See, those are ego mind things. What's heart mind? When you send a thought out through the heart mind, there's no doubt. You don't have any fear. Right? You've got 100% faith and trust and confidence in yourself and the universe. That's it. Every single time you will manifest what you have sent to the universe in that format, in that context. You will not through the ego mind, and most of us are tricked, and we send thoughts out through the ego mind, and the ego mind influences them. See, it really is. It's us knowing about the mind. See, that's what it is. It's knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. Most of us are ignorant to the mind. It's a limited conglomeration of ideas and beliefs about who we think we are and what reality is. Makes sense, right? It behaves much like a computer that is unaware of itself and just spits out information that was programmed into it. That's pretty much the case. Where does the information come from? It comes from society, family, friends, teachers, educational system. That's where it comes from. That's what programs the ego mind. But look at it as a machine. Okay? It's not conscious. Horrible master, wonderful servant. Remember that too. That's something I say to myself. The mind is a horrible master, a wonderful servant. And the only thing that's stopping us is ourselves. We need to train the mind so that we can use it instead of being used by it. But we have this stuff that goes on all the time, all of us. We're not exempt from it. And so It can be subtle, come from beneath and then slip up. But it's a lot of distraction. The ego mind's on overdrive, and we're over here and over there and wondering about this, worrying about this, stressing about this. It's all over the place. We got 60,000 thoughts coming in every 24 hours constantly, repeating themselves, playing them over and over and over again. See, we know that it cannot remain in the present moment. It must keep moving with ideas that engage the past and future to remain in control of you. Right? There's no debating this. It's true with all of us. It cannot remain in the present moment. It must keep moving with ideas that engage the past and future to remain in control of us. Well, how the heck do we gain control of the mind? We quiet the mind. We regain control of it. When we quiet the mind, we regain control of it. How the heck do you quiet the mind? You leave it alone. How do you do that? You go into the now. You focus like we do every day in these meditations. You get in a comfortable position. You focus on your breath rising and falling. Space between heartbeats. You're as still as a statue. You're relaxing into the body. That's the now. It's not even debatable. You will not have the ego mind there. You will not have worry, stress, and fear. You will not have mind chatter. And it's practice. I think some people think that they'll go into meditation maybe once or twice and it's all done. It's all taken care of. The more we can practice paying attention to the stillness and silence, which most of us don't, that is behind the chattering mind, the less power the mind has over us. And the less we will get trapped in our limited ego or identity. Ego, what's the definition? Right? Abbreviation EGO. It's just an acronym for excluding God's omnipresence. You're the God in that body, the pure consciousness. Okay? We label it God, but it's pure consciousness. We ignore it. See, the ego ignores that. It believes it's separate from that. It doesn't even know it exists. And through the constant awareness of our ego, we can bypass the mind and access this omnipresent divine spiritual energy inside of us by being in the now. And what are we doing really? We're discovering our natural enlightened state. We become aligned with the bigger truth that we already are infinite spiritual beings who have been given the gift of a limited physical human expression with illusionary challenges that make us grow. When the mind is quiet, we can enjoy this divine play, find real peace with the entire dynamic, we find full acceptance that we are both the ego and the spirit, and know all is perfect as it is. I believe one of the biggest challenges for this civilization, however you want to label it, species, civilization, society, is releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. See, we've been programmed in such a way deeply throughout our existence in this life alone that that's a real toughie. As humans, we tend to get attached to or avoid certain thoughts and feelings that we believe will make us happy or unhappy. Now we get into habits of resisting this life. Habits of resisting life. And trying to control our experiences so that we get what we think will only bring us joy and avoid what makes us unhappy. We even create these patterns based on what others say, feel, and believe, and ignore our own inner voice and connection. See, you could be having a conversation with yourself, right? You could be saying, I'm not going to do this. This isn't for me. It just doesn't float my boat. So, and then the other one is saying to you, hey, and this and that, and they're all excited and everything. And knowing yourself, that you just know it's not for you. It's not, not that you're afraid of it or anything. It doesn't float your boat. You're not excited about it. It's not something that sparked you. And so you're saying to yourself, I don't really care to do this or really get into it. They are. That's great. Now what happens is, in a lot of cases, not all cases, but a lot of cases, that being will then go into it, even though their inner voice, the God within them, says, it's not for me. It's just like someone will eat a whole bowl of raw jalapeno peppers and say, hey, they're very good. Would you like some? You look at their face and they're sweating, and you go, nah, not my thing. Period. Others will feel compelled that they don't care to hurt that being's feelings, so they'll go ahead and eat those peppers. See, we do things a lot of the times based upon what others say, feel, and believe. Then we ignore our own inner voice and connection. This attachment and avoidance habit manifests because deep down we feel disconnected from our spiritual source. We're still trying to find some form of security by controlling our reality. And when we were young, we saw others avoiding what is painful and remaining attached to what is pleasurable and believed this is how it should be done. You've heard the saying, little pictures have big ears, right? Children. As kids, we would take in everything. We did. We took it all in. And we thought, well, that's my mom, my dad, that's my older brother, my older sister, or what they're saying, is that really true? Wow, I'm going to start doing that. This is what we did. And, it's really interesting. We're doing it now. We do it now. We still do it. How many times have maybe, or you've watched others that say, maybe if I do this, I'll really get something, or I'll get somewhere more. If you want to get here, you got to do this over here. Why? Because that's the way it is. This is what we've been following forever. Because someone else, maybe that we believe, knows us or is credible, right? They say, oh, I'm going to do what, yeah, I'll do that with you. See how it can get through that programming? We've been given this gift of a limited physical human expression with illusionary challenges that make us grow, right? And we quiet the mind through meditation. We move into the now. We practice being in the heart mind, not the ego mind. By doing this, eventually, we end up mastering the ego mind along with our thoughts. That's huge. Why wouldn't we do that? Oh, I don't have time for that. Nah, that's silly. You know, I tried that a couple of times. Man, it was really a drag, boring. Never really got anywhere with it. Never really was able to relax. Had too many interruptions. You know, maybe not this lifetime, maybe the next, or the next. How many of us actually resist life? A lot of us. And we avoid what makes us unhappy. We do that and even create these patterns based on what others say and feel and believe and ignore our own inner voice and connection. This attachment and avoidance habit manifests because deep down we feel disconnected from our spiritual source. We are still trying to find some form of security by controlling our reality. When we were young, we saw others avoiding what is painful and remaining attached to what is pleasurable, and that's how we copied them. See, in this enlightenment state that we already are, as the gods that we are, shows up when we listen to our heart and stop being attached to or avoiding anything. When we understand that this life is like a pendulum designed to swing and give us both experiences of pain and pleasure, we can transcend them both. By accepting this natural pendulum swing, we become free from being the one who always needs to be in control and running the show. Pain and suffering are just the universe's way of telling us to do one thing. What do you think it is? Let go. And trust the flow. Float, don't swim. Same thing. The purpose of feeling pain is not to create more suffering, yet for us to wake up and create an immediate new life change. And this change is necessary for us to evolve and eventually drop all identity with our ego trip so we can return to our spiritual source. And by allowing ourselves to let go of our mind's attachments and aversions, we can genuinely enjoy our life again. We then start energetically communicating to the universe that we are abundant, thankful, happy, beautiful, and free. This experience allows us to expand in consciousness and deepen our connection to our infinite source inside. The biggest discovery that we're all going to make, remember, we're not in a race. We have infinity in front of us. being free from the illusion that we're separate from the infinite source of love, energy, and connection. We're not. We are it. What is the unenlightened state, which most of us are in on this planet right now? What is it? The unenlightened state. It's feeling separate and disconnected from our universe. That's what it is. That's the unenlightened state. We become enlightened when we are continuously aware how deeply and intimately connected we already are. See, we are deeply connected right in this now, right in this moment. We don't know it. The illusion of separation, we know, is not an accident or coincidence. We know that. This universe is extremely intelligent. We know that too. Every feeling of separation is needed so that coming spiritually home is that much more amazing. What does coming spiritually home mean? That you rediscover that you're the God in the body, that you're pure, deep, eternal love, joy, happiness, bliss, peace, contentment, tranquility. The polarization of separation, unification, breeds a truly juicy, alive, and incredible experience of this life. When we become enlightened, we will see the full illusion and know how to stop manifesting another experience of loss, failure, or separation again. We will eventually be able to look, right? And we will know our thoughts. We will know them, for we can direct them appropriately. We will have mastered our ego mind, and it will be our wonderful servant through the heart mind. We will know that being in the now through the heart mind is the power that we are. We know that having 100% confidence, trust, and faith in ourselves in this universe is a natural state of being. So where does that bring us? Whatever you focus on, you're going to create for yourself. But the interesting thing right now, people don't know this about themselves. They really don't. So that's why everything's flailing around, and every now and something comes, and this happened out over here, and this and that. But when you can direct things, it's a whole different ballgame. You're not being directed. You're the director. You're the producer. You're the master and commander. Most of us are not the master and commander. The ego mind is the master and commander, front and center. Where's the heart mind? Oh, it's there. But it's like a little mouse. See, this illusion that we are not connected to the divine, which is what we are, divine perfection, is karmic, accumulated. It stems from lifetimes of our mind's attachment and avoidance of limiting ideas of who and what we think we are. That's what it is. And believe you me, all of us have had many, many, many lifetimes. Once we choose to do this through discovery. Once we untangle ourselves from our fun, sticky karmic mess, we will remember that we were always one energy. one sea of consciousness, and always connected with our source. All experiences of suffering simply drop away when we pay closer attention to who we truly are. All suffering comes from a lack of awareness of our divinity. In other words, we don't know that we are divine beings. Once we stop forgetting our eternal abundant nature, we begin stepping forward into the life that we wish or want, of overflowing with synchronicity, ease, grace, love, and knowing our divine, unlimited nature. Waking up is as simple and easy for all of us as remembering that the sun is always on, always bright, and always shining somewhere. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath rising and falling. You are not this demanding ego. You're the light of pure consciousness that is always on, always bright and shining. Whatever the thing is that you constantly crave for and incessantly desire in this life is the product of your burning, fixated ego. This ego is too proud to trust in this life, believe this life is magical, highly intelligent and benevolent. Your ego likes to feel like it's in control of this great, unfathomable mystery. Because if you look deeper down into the low points of your life, you'll see the ego actually feels powerless, a bit lost, needing attention and abandoned. It has gotten lost in these delusions and has forgotten how to trust, relax, enjoy this life, and celebrate the magical unfoldment that exists in this amazing universe. Do not worry. We all signed up for a demanding ego just so that we could have the delicious experience of transcending it. Sending your ego so much trust and love. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We will return here tonight, Friday, July 19th, 2024. To continue our reverse aging health call. Around a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside you. Open your heart and let the magic flow in.